Welcome back to Gibbo MMA. Today we break down and recap and react to UFC Vegas 106. That fight card is now in the books with the headlining Michael Morales versus Gilbert Burns. First thoughts overall of the event. Kind of glad we got that one in the books. Michael Morales comes in and starches Gilbert Burns with a first round knockout. And so I'll start with the performance with the bonuses of that card. So performance of the nights went to Michael Morales and Denise Gomez, and then fight of the night went to Julian Erosa and Costa. We had 7 finishes on the card out of the 10 fights, and 4 of them via sub, so we had a few submissions. But I'll get straight into the main events, Gilbert Burns and Morales. Yeah, it was a quick one. First round knockout by Michael Morales. He was, just the younger, he's 25 years old. Gilbert is 38. And he just put on the pace. He had that killer instinct and just kept laying it on him. And then, then the fight was called. So just back the Gilbert up against the cage. And then just, looked like Gilbert just pretty much just conceded to being TKO'd. He didn't really have much to answer for it. It just didn't look like himself in there, Gilbert Burns. I think Father Time here was really shown. Kind of sad to see Gilbert Burns in that way and perform that way, because we all know from his previous fights what he's like. Like in his prime, Gilbert just ain't doing that. He's circling, he's throwing bombs back, and it just looked like it's past his time, unfortunately. I want to give as much respect to Gilbert as possible, but I think the man of the moment is Michael Morales, and he really stepped up in his first main event, and just what a great performance. He gets an extra $50,000 added to his purse, and well done to him. So we have a new and another contender in the welterweight division. He will most likely come the next couple of days when the rankings come out, move and take Gilbert Burns' spot at ranked 8. We'll see. But who would I like to see Morales fight next? He's only 25, and you don't want to rush him too much. In the post-fight presser, he was calling for Ian Gary or someone in the top 6. And if we just look at who's in the rankings, top 6, so we got Ian Gary at 6, so that does make a little sense. Kamaru Usman, he's scheduled to fight Joaquin Buckley. And then you got Leon Edwards. I think that's just too much of a step up for him. You don't want to give him too much of a level step up. And then you got Shavkat, Sean Brady, then Bilal, and they're all... so he's coming at an awkward time in the welterweight divisions, Morales, because, I think we need to let the top 5 guys, anyone pretty much above him, like they're all they need to sort themselves out. And, he doesn't need to be rushed, although you might feel like, he's ready, and I'm sure he kind of is, but, we don't need to be rushing, stepping him up and then just getting outworked and torched. You kind of saw that with Bo Nickel. He got that big step up against RDR, and then, just really got shown like, this is a different level. So for me, personally, who I think Morales should fight next, I want to, because he's got that great striking and stand-up game. I want to see him get tested against a wrestler. And that's because early on in his career, if you can work out and round out your game earlier on, the better, instead of waiting until he's trying to get a number one contender spot or eventually into a title fight, trying to work on or work out those parts of his game. Because he did get briefly taken down by Gilbert, but nothing was done with it. Like, he got straight back up. So he does have, good takedown defense and showing that he can get straight back up. But, against a prime, grappler, like a Shavkat or a Bilal or something, Kamaru or Sean Brady, I think he's going to get overwhelmed in that step up. So there's one guy, so there's Ian Gary, which, that's, I'm not liking that for him, because Ian Gary, he's just beaten Prates, and Ian, he's got a good IQ, whether you like him or not. He knows how to win fights. I think, and it's just, I don't like that matchup for him at this stage. So I'm thinking, might not like it, but this guy's a wrestler. He's a big name. He's ranked number 9, so one below Gilbert. He's coming off a loss, or probably a few losses. But yeah, that's Kobe Covington. I want to, get him in there with Kobe and use Kobe's name to really blow him up, get him more exposure, put him in a fight night, and when they go on the road, make it a main event fight night. Kobe can sell it, put him against a big name, and I think especially Kobe with that wrestling. That's the main thing, is get him tested against. If we're looking purely at the style matchup, regardless even of the name, and Kobe and all that stuff and what he brings outside of the cage, I think I'd like to just see him, how he goes against someone who's going to go in there and try and take him down and put the pressure on him. So I think, a bit of left field, but he's ranked number 9, Colby, and I think it's a good test for Morales, and it's going to give him a lot of exposure. So if they take it on the road, and because this was at the Apex, so if they need to put bums on seat, and that's what Colby does, he puts bums on seats, whether you like him or not. I mentioned this in one of my last episodes. This is prize fighting, so we need to sell tickets, and that's what Kobe does, whether you like him or not. But stylistically speaking, and wanting to push Michael Morales up, I think Covington would be well suited for that. There's Jeff Neal there at rank 10. He's not booked. He's more stand-up, powerful guy. That's another name. Good test as well. But I want to see him, how he goes, getting pushed up against the cage a lot more, and working and using that to be able to develop his game. So that way, when he gets into that top 5, and there's it's a lot of, outside of Leon Edwards, all those guys are heavy grapplers. Bilal Muhammad, Sean Brady, Shavkat, Kamaru Usman. They're heavy grapplers, and Ian Gary can also, he's pretty good at putting that pressure against the cage and in the clinch. So Michael Morales, exciting times for him. 25, he's definitely, most likely can be a future champ. He's athletic. Looked really sharp and smart in there. Real sharp with his punches. So Kobe Covington next. Let me know what you think about that. But because behind him is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, Carlos Prates. I did think that'd be a fun fight. Prates, that'd be a good stand-up fight. And then Vicente Luque and Michael Venom Page. So just, a lot of stand-up guys, really. But I want to see him versus a wrestler. It's entertaining to verse these stand-up guys, but purely, I want him to do really well. I just want him to keep developing and rounding out his game. And facing a wrestler would be my next fight for him. And yeah, what's next for Gilbert Burns? Some are saying retirement, time to, you're 38. Now you're on a 4-fight losing streak. Yeah, I put out there Jeff Neal or Carlos Prates, just if one of those guys want to get another win, Prates coming off a loss. I think Prates would be a fun fight between those two. I like that. Jeff Neal, he's solid, powerful. That'd be a fun, heavy-hitting fight. But yeah, I think either those two guys or, he's 38. Let him recoup. He just hasn't looked the same in there, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the main event. So Michael Morales. So just going off Gilbert there, he was on the Pound for Pound podcast with Henry Cejudo and Kamaru Usman, and it was really interesting to listen. So this was just released before this fight, and yeah, it was because Gilbert used to be a lightweight 155er, and then he stepped up to welterweight. But yeah, he was just saying how he's that tweener, like he's too big for lightweight, but then he's just, compared to all the other guys, how big they are that cut down, like, and then you can see like he looked pretty small in there compared to Morales, because Morales looked big in there. And yeah, he was just talking about how he's that tweener. You get a lot of them, especially with you get guys at 170 that go up to middleweight or whatever. Like a Kelvin Gastelum's a good example, because he kept jumping back and forth between welterweight and middleweight. How he's a bit of a tweener. Gilbert. If there was a Gilbert was saying if there was a 165-pound division, he'd be undefeated, because that's where his body would excel at. But it was interesting to listen how they talked about, when Kamaru Usman, because they trained together for years, Gilbert and Kamaru, and then slowly, because Gilbert was about 155 and then he moved up to 170, and Kamaru was, one of the top guys. I think he might have been champ. And then Gilbert started piecing together wins, and then and then all of a sudden Gilbert gets a win, and then he sort of calls out Kamaru, and Kamaru's like, and this was during COVID, like, whoa, I thought we were kind of boys, same gym and everything. And yeah, it was a pretty good behind the curtains about their fight and building up to it and all the emotions around that. It was mainly business, because they had the same dream of being champion, and Kamaru really took it kind of personally. And yeah, it was I'll definitely go listen to that. And then now we move on to the co-main, or the cancelled co-main. So just before Sadiq Youssef and Santos got elevated to the co-main, but so Paul Craig versus Bellato got cancelled like only a few minutes before their fight, essentially. So Bellato had to pull out due to medical reasons, and I was like, I wonder what those reasons were. So I went on his Instagram and had a look around, and he posted he had herpes. It got cancelled because he had herpes. So I hope everything's going all right there for Bellato. Hopefully it's nothing around the genitals. That'd be, but I was really looking forward to some light heavyweights just banging it out, just absolutely throwing hands, a couple of big boys. So that fight got cancelled last minute. So then Sadiq Youssef versus Marion Santos got elevated to co-main, and like I said, we had 10 fights. We had 1, 2, 3. Just counting how many fights we had on the card for us at one moment. So we had 11 fights on the card. We had 7 finishes. So the prelims were going well. We had only 1 decision on the prelims, and then we hit yeah, we hit the main card and then we just went decision, and then we finally got the finish in the main event. So yeah, so we got a decision in this Marion Santos versus Sadiq Yusuf. It was 29, 28, 30, 27 across the scorecards. It wasn't not much output, to be honest. Yeah, it wasn't. I wouldn't waste your time really watching it, but yeah, Santos got the win. Yeah, it was just really just leg kicks and jabs, and yeah, Yusuf, a lot of feints. He was doing a lot of feints, but was doing it nothing with it. It just looked real panicky in there. Didn't want to pull the trigger. Whereas Santos, real measured, calm, and just really just cruise. Looked like he was cruising. Yeah, so I'm not gonna spend any more time on that. And then we had Ruzabayev versus Dustin at middleweight. So the Sultan Ruzabayev, he's a big guy, 6'5", and so he was making welterweight, 6'5" welterweight. So this was at middleweight, and he got the win via decision. Yeah, these Apex cards, like I was saying, with how many watered down fights we get, it starts to really, outside the main event, gets pretty lackluster. But yeah, in the first round, it looked like Ruzabayev got knocked down, but it was actually a head clash. But yeah, it looked, you think a guy who's 6'5" would have great stand up, but all he would do was just throw a big right or a big jab and nothing following up. And yeah, can be pretty frustrating to watch, a guy of that stature just only throw just one punch at a time, not following up, because if he followed up, he'd definitely be finishing guys. So yeah, that was a decision. He got taken down a few times. And then he called out Bo Nickel. Great call out from him. Good media work. I don't think he won't get the fight. But yeah, and then we move on to fight of the night, which was Malaquezo Costa versus Julian Erosa. Yeah, and this was first round. Yeah, great first round from Costa. And then he was knocking Erosa. He was laying on Julian Erosa in the first round, knocking him. Great chin by Erosa. Erosa got a takedown at the end, last 20 seconds or so, did nothing with it. So I gave that. So yeah, Costa that round. Then Costa in the second round. Yeah, again, just really pouring it on a bit. He went for a little guillotine. But like I always say, if you're going for a guillotine, make sure it's in the first, because once you hit the second rounds and on, you're too slippery. Like the success rate of that is just next to none. So yeah, I don't like when fighters are pulling for gillies, because like once you only be doing it in the first round when you dry, because people just slide through. You're all slippery. You got blood on you. So he pulls that, but also you can use your submissions as defense. So if you can use that sometimes the best defense is your offense. So he did end up getting up off his feet once he pulled the gilly into guard. But yeah, that, like the commentators always say, the professionals, they always say position over submission. Pulling for submissions, pulling guard on a gilly, never quite the smartest move unless you really know it's locked in. Because Costa, he did in his last fight get a gilly from his guard off his back against Andre Philly, UFC Seattle. So it was in a, so yeah, position over submission. Like even Conor McGregor pulled on Dustin Poirier in his last fight. It was in the first round though. He didn't get it. I mean, but still, I think there was a bit of ego played a part in there. He wanted to get submission, that gilly over Dustin, because he always likes to pull it. But if it's not the first, don't be pulling gillies once it's in the second or later rounds. And then this is where it really became the fight of the night in the last round. Those guys just started slogging it out. They were just hooking, just nothing really straight, just overhands and hooks, just slugging it out. Not much power to it, hence why there was no knockout. But but it was just optics of it all. It was entertaining. Got the massive crowd of say 100 people in the Apex going. But those guys got an extra 50k added to their purses, and Costa's now has now won 3 fights in 2025, so the first to reach 3 wins this year in the UFC. So he's been really active, and that puts you in the good books. So I'm sure he'll be getting booked again soon. Oh, actually, maybe not, because there was blood coming from his foot throughout the fight, and then we see on Dana's posted on his Instagram one of his toes is like, oh yuck, it's like all split it up, like it would look like it was gonna fall off. So he had to get stitches on his foot there, Costa, so he might be out for a little bit actually, just with the stitches on his foot. But yeah, 3-0 just in 2025 alone. So yeah, well done to Costa there. But yeah, overall, and then in the prelims, we had we had all via finish except one fight. Jared Gordon starched Thiago Moises. He was unlucky not to get a bonus. And then Luana Santos, I believe, if it was the women's or just the bantamweight women's division, or I think it was just women's in general, first ever Americano submission in UFC history. So she was the first to get that and didn't get a bonus. And then, Denise Gomez, she starched Elise Reed in the second round. She's a real big prospect, up and coming there, heavy hands. But that's UFC Vegas 106 in the cards. Not much. I've really been generous with my time on it. I think the biggest thing with these cards is just the main event, because it's always a ranked, usually highly ranked or contender fight where big stakes are on the line. And that's what I was really looking forward to, was Michael Morales, seeing how he performs and what's the future for him, and also how Gilbert goes, like what's his future looking like now. So we finally got those answers. Michael Morales moves to 18-0 undefeated. And then we also got big news announced on the card, on the broadcast, which was Patchy Mix, former Bellator champ, bantamweight champ at Bellator, has now been signed to the UFC, and he is taking on and stepping in to fight Mario Bautista at the O'Malley card, June 7th, so UFC 316. So he'll be fighting Mario Bautista. I believe Marlon Vera had to pull out rib injury or something, so he's now stepping in. I was just listening to his press conference about the signing and all. He's I don't know if he's married, but his partner's Tatiana Suarez, strawweight, who recently fought for the title earlier this year against Zhang Wei Li. So they're partners. But a good little new addition to the bantamweight division. He sounds really confident. Seems like really, he's a submission artist, he says. So exciting times. He says he's going to be doing this one's for Jose Aldo against Batista, because Aldo lost that controversial split decision, and Batista's not really in the favored at the UF with these fans at the moment. So so that was a big signing and big news today with the UFC. So Patchy Mix coming into the bantamweight division. So look out for him. He's he's got a record of 20-1. So yeah, he's always looking to finish fights. Looking forward to seeing him fight in the next couple of weeks. And for the next upcoming card, we have a week off, a much needed week off. So we got Blanchfield versus Macy Barber, June 1st at the Mighty Apex. So yeah, we got a week off, and then we roll into the women's flyweight main event. Top 5 ranked girls. I like Blanchfield, but I won't break it down now. Mateusz Gamrot, a Polish guy, is on it. But yeah, it's a pretty tough card to be able to get up for. But we'll get into that another time. But yeah, that's Vegas 106 in the books. Nothing more really exciting to come of it. But yeah, the welterweight division, as mentioned earlier in the last week, yeah, really exciting. I think could be the new glamour division. It's really stacked now. Plenty of contenders, and let's just really just let the guys sort it out. You can just book any fight in the top 10 and it's going to be a banger, and you can headline any of those guys on a fight night or title fight, but also, on pay-per-views, put them in the co-main slots. Yeah, it's looking really good, the welterweight division. But yeah, so yeah, I think I might just leave it at that. Yeah, no really more news to mention. So yeah, let us know your thoughts about Michael Morales and who he should fight next, and whether you think Gilbert Burns should retire. But yeah, other than that, hope you guys have a good day, and I'll speak to you again soon.